What's up, YouTube family? It's Ben here with VW Family Farm, and I want to tell you something that could save you a headache, save you thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions, or possibly your life. Stay tuned. Alright, with us laying this water line, that got me thinking. As sitting on that track hoe and sitting on that trencher for hours and hours, my mind just by myself sitting there going crazy. But one thing I come up with was, I want to throw a little video of some of what we have done on that water line project in here. But something I wanted to really get out there is a notification to everyone out there that if you don't know, you need to call 811 before you dig. Before you trench, before you dig with a backhoe, before you dig with post hole diggers, before you dig with an auger. Did you know it is the law that you have to call 811? When you are getting ready to do a project, you're supposed to notify 811, your local agency, that you are going to be doing some digging. And you're supposed to notify them 48 hours in advance before you dig. That gives all the different companies that may have underground utilities in your area plenty of time to get out there, because working in the field that I work in, we get notifications of people wanting to dig all the time. It ain't nothing to have 25 locates come in one day, and we've got a big area that we have to cover and go either clear them, mark them, and a lot of times if they're on our right-of-way, we have to be there. If they're digging across our right-of-way, paralleling on our right-of-way, whatever, we have to be on site just to make sure they don't hit our gas line. But I've pulled up a few statistics, and one of them that, just one of the first ones that popped up, I looked up in 2015, there was 278,861 utility damage events in the United States and Canada. That resulted in 1.7 billion, yes, that's a billion, in property damage, as well as 1,906 injuries, also 421 deaths. I have never personally seen anybody get killed from it. I've seen some instances where somebody very easily could have died. And I've seen pictures of places where people did die, striking gas lines, striking underground electrical lines, different things like that. Something else I looked up on Google, you can find about anything. There was one place, I think it was in Colorado, some contractor bored into an underground fiber optic line. I don't remember how many pairs it said it was, but it ended up costing $5.2 million. So if you're going to be digging anything, if you're going to be putting your mailbox in, if you're going to be putting in corner posts for a fence, if you're going to be digging a hole to plant trees, did you know that when you plant trees, if you're planting them on a utility easement right of way, they can't be there. They're going to come through there and either cut them down, mow them down, depending on what utility it is. I hear a lot of people griping, oh, the power company come through and cut my trees, cut the tops out of my trees, what have you. That is on their utility right of way. That is in your yard, yes. That is also on the utility right of way, and nobody likes to be without power, so they're going to cut the tree limbs out to keep from power outage. So you always want to make sure, I mean, it's free, it's easy. There's a few simple things they need. They need your name, your address, contact telephone number. One thing they always ask for is where you're going to be doing this at. Where do you need the utility companies to come mark? And you can either give them a physical address and tell them measurements off of that, or one thing that we use a lot is GPS. You can just tell them your GPS points, going from here to here, what have you. When I called mine in the other day for this water line, I had my entire property put in on that locate request. That way, anywhere I want to dig, which that was the third one I've done here recently. We done them when we done the fence on the front of the highway. I done them when I done the fence through the back, and I knew that there was a natural gas pipeline across the back part of our property that we was going to be crossing. So I knew ahead of time. But one other thing that I wanted to throw out there that is a misconception that we hear a lot. When you call 811, they will call, contact, or mark underground utilities owned by companies. But one misconception is, I know in our local area that everybody thinks that, all right, I call 811, they're going to mark all the gas lines, water lines, this and that. That is not the case in all instances. When a natural gas line is run to your house in our area, and I'm pretty sure it's this way everywhere, when it leaves the meter going to your house, that's not a company utility pipeline right there. That is your gas line. From that meter to your house belongs to you. So if you're laying a gas line, a water line, that's another one. From the water meter to your house, that's your line. That's your personal line that you are responsible for. So anytime you lay a line, you need to do like we done. We put a number 12 wire, coated wire underground with this water line that you can go and hook onto with a locator and trace it out right where it runs. So your gas lines from your meter to your house, your water line from your water meter to your house, anything like that. A lot of the times you can also get if you're there, you can probably talk the locate company into, hey, will you hook onto this and give me an idea where it's at. Anyway, we're going to throw in some footage right here of our water line project. I've got a few pictures right here that I'm going to throw in here. This is something that they alerted us that, hey, this right here is going to catch your attention. This was an incident that happened with another company, and the guy on the piece of equipment did die. Of course, these pictures aren't showing that, but shows how dangerous underground utilities can be. Natural gas, you could possibly have an explosion. Electrical lines underground, you could electrocute yourself. The fiber optic lines get very, very expensive when you cut them. Phone lines, another thing, save yourself a headache. Know where your sewer and all that is. If you're on a septic system, you better know where your sewer lines are. That way you don't auger a post hole right into the middle of them, things like that. So always be aware and thinking about what's underground. It's always nice to know, hey, call 811. One other thing is, if before you build any buildings, call 811. Now, no, you're not digging, but if you put a permanent structure on a utility easement, that's not good either. They're going to make you tear it down. I've seen it. So we're going to throw in some footage of our water line project right here. We had fun, got it all in. It is in service right now. Show you. Of course, this is just a normal bucket. I know everybody makes fun of me for hoarding, but I was on a job that I got a buku of buckets. I probably got 50 something 5-gallon buckets for free. I can always come up with something. What I've done is cut a hole in the bottom of it, and this is the water line project. All right, I've went from the HD or the polyethylene black pipe that we all welded together that one weekend to PVC, just a short section of it, because the black poly pipe was 1.5 inches. We've reduced down to 3/4. I don't know if y'all have ever seen these right here, but these are underground check valves is what I call them. They've got a piece that goes down inside and when you push it, you've got live water. You don't have to turn a valve or anything on. That right there will be underground. I'll probably put a little insulation in there during the winter just to make sure they don't freeze, but we'll put a lid on the buckets. You'll always have access to that underground valve. So they're going to be spaced out down through the field. Every time we move the water trough, we'll hook to a new quick connect valve. Easy as pie. Okay, right here's what I'm talking about. This is a quick connect, and we've got 11 of these spread down through this field. All you do is squeeze this side of it right here, pops out. You've got water pressure underneath that end, then connects to the water hose, so you can move this up and down the thing. So we've got 11 of them, so every paddock, every one of these will be able to do at least 4 paddocks, depending on how you set it out. And then watch this, how it goes back in. All you have to do is get this little
doodad.
All you have to do is get this little latch underneath the lip of that. All you got to do that is get it in there, push down, and it latched. And those right there are so handy.
And are you tired?
Yes, I am tired. Look back this way. Well, come on this side of the traco. I don't know if you can see way up there in the distance where them 3 trees are. You can see the roof of our house.
A mile away.
So we've ran a water line from there to right here. We've talked about continuing on to the back on a further date, but as of right now, we're kind of rethinking that idea.
We can cut the back for hay.
We're tired. So this whole project started last fall. We started on the highway, putting up new barbed wire fence, and then we did, Andrew and the kids mainly did it, but we pounded these posts in to put in pull posts for a single strand hot wire. This divides this whole field in half, and then every field, or every piece of it, we've got this poly wire dividing into 3-acre paddocks that at this point in time we're moving them every day. This paddock here is actually a 6-acre paddock, so they're going to be on it for 2 days. Then once they eat it down, they're going to come over on this side and they're going to run all the way back up to the house. And then once they get to the house, they'll start over on this side again and just keep making a big circle all the way around. We're hoping to make these last long enough where they won't hit the front pasture that they was on earlier for at least 40 days. I was hoping for 60, but we're going to see this first round until we get our ground and grass established real well. It may be shorter than what we was anticipating, but it's all a learning curve. We've never run cattle out here on this. This right here is what we put in for the water line. It's 1.5 inch high density plastic, and then we reduced it down to 3/4 inch PVC. We got the water trough over here that Lane moves from paddock to paddock. We're doing that at this moment. We may eventually put in permanent tanks, but I like that because if you get a spot that they're beating down, next time don't put it there, move it on down a little farther. That right there is so versatile on where you want to put it, where you can put it. So once you put in a permanent tank, you're stuck. So this project is pretty much wrapped up. All I have to do now is come out of our well, dig a water line to our well house that we're going to build, put it in the tank. I've never done that before, so that's going to be a learning curve for me. Hook the tank up and the line's up to this line. As of right now, we're feeding this line with city water. That's hopefully next week. And then we can mark this one all off the list, and that's going to excite Andrea.
So we are going to wrap this up. We are so tired. We have worked our buns off for the last week on just this burying part, trenching and burying part of the line. We worked a few weeks ago, especially Ben and some good friends of ours in Lane, worked on laying the line and doing all the welding, but just this burying part alone and putting these buckets and final fittings in was so much more than we thought it was going to be. We thought Friday, maybe Saturday a little bit, and this is Tuesday. But it's wrapping up. So we're so thankful. Move on to something else.
Hey, if you're new to our family here, thanks for coming along. Thanks for all your support. And
I think we need to go home. It's getting dark.
yeah, ready to sit down and relax.
We will see y'all tomorrow.
Thanks for watching. God bless.